You're having difficulty making a change in your life with your martial arts training or your diet or something else. Here's an activity that will help you understand why you're not changing and make it far easier to finally make that change in your life. But before we get into it, I need to point something out. Change is difficult. When we contemplate making a change in our lives, what typically happens is we experience ambivalence. We experience a resistance to that change. This reluctance, however, does not make us weak, does not imply that we're unmotivated, doesn't mean that we're lazy or messed up. What's wrong with me? I want to make this change, but I can't get off my butt. Nothing is wrong with you. That resistance you're feeling is totally normal and expected. Let's do this activity now so that you can see why. Pull out a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen. You're going to answer 4 questions. But first, what is the thing that you want to change in your life? Write that down at the top of the page. Is it a change in your diet? A change in your training? Do you want to get more sleep? What is it? Write it down now. The example I will use as we go through these questions will be training at the dojo a few nights a week for someone who has not been doing so. So this person has been skipping classes or hasn't been to the dojo in a while, but wants to start training regularly, but for whatever reason has a hard time making this change. So now we're going to answer the 4 questions. Question number 1, what is good about not changing? What are the benefits of not making this change in your life? What are the benefits of staying the same? The way things are now, how is this working for you? Because you're doing things this way for a reason. There's some value in it for you, or you wouldn't be doing this. So what is it? Write this down on your piece of paper. Let's consider the example of this person who wants to train at the dojo regularly but hasn't been. What is good about not changing for this person? Well, if they don't go to the dojo, they get to do other things. Maybe they get to watch their favorite TV shows, or maybe they get to read a good book. Maybe they get to have quality time with their partner or their family, so they get to go out with their friends. Maybe they get to have some quiet time to themselves in the evening. Maybe it's the only time of day when they don't have a zillion things to do, and they enjoy having that free time without filling it up with something else. There are good things about not changing. Question number 2, what would be bad about changing? How would this change disrupt your routine? What might you have to give up or lose? Because you will have to give something up. You will need to change your routine. You will need to sacrifice something or make some trade-off. So what is bad about this change? Write this down on your piece of paper. So back to our example, if this person does start training at the dojo, they will need to give up their relaxing evening on those nights and give up that time to watch TV or read or whatever else. They will need to travel to the dojo, possibly in heavy traffic. They will need to train when they get there, even if they're feeling tired or stiff from a long day at work or sitting at a desk. That workout might be really, really difficult, right? It might be hard. They might feel exhausted after. They will need to shower when they get home. They'll need to wash their uniform. They might have to make another meal if they feel hungry when they're done. So they can't even relax right away after that training session when they get home. All of this might mean a later bedtime than usual. So on those nights, they might get less sleep than normal, which might mean that they're more tired the next day. And then of course, they might be sore or tired the next day from the training sessions themselves. There are bad things about changing. Answering these first 2 questions can help us see that our ambivalence to changing is totally normal and expected. It's logical. Look at all the good things you would have to give up. Look at all the bad things that go along with that change. Of course you're reluctant to change. It makes total sense when you look at it this way. But of course you do really want to make that change. So we're going to answer 2 more questions. Question number 3, what might be good about changing? If you made this change, how would this help you? What are the benefits of changing? What new possibilities or opportunities could open up in your life if you make this change? Think about this now and write it down on that piece of paper. Back to our reluctant martial artist, what is good about training at the dojo regularly? Well, this person will become better at martial arts. They will become more experienced and be able to move up in rank. Their fitness level will improve. Their health will improve. Their body composition will improve. They'll feel more confident in themselves. They'll have a healthy outlet for stress and aggression. They'll feel part of a community which will offer social support and friendships. Their mental health will improve. They'll develop strength and resilience. They'll look like a badass and be able to post cool selfies online. There are good things about changing. So last question, number 4. What might be bad about not changing? If you don't make this change, what bad things could happen? If you carry on the way you have been, what might your life look like in 10 years or 20? What is the downside of not changing? Think about this and write it down on that piece of paper. So back to our example. If our martial artist doesn't change and continues to enjoy his couchy time in the evenings every night instead of going to the dojo, there will be negative consequences to this. This person's fitness level will decline. Their body composition or weight will change for the worse. They'll start losing muscle. They'll get worse at martial arts. If you don't use it, you lose it, and they will start to lose it. They'll decline in their ability. They won't move up in rank in their martial art. Their health might worsen. As time passes, their confidence might start to go downhill. Their mental health might worsen as they don't have that social outlet and that physical outlet for stress. They'll lose strength. They'll feel disappointed in themselves, and they'll be filled with regret over their decision to not make that change. So there are bad things about not changing. 4 simple questions, but they can provide a wealth of information. Change is difficult. Your hesitation is valid and legitimate, and you have not been sabotaging yourself after all. But trying to force yourself or bully yourself into making that change when you're already feeling reluctant, this often results in us pushing back and feeling even more resistant. No one wants to feel pressure to change. Pressure from others or from ourselves makes us want to do that thing even less. It makes us resist even more, and it makes that change far more difficult. But what can help is giving yourself the option of not changing. You can say, okay, I really want to make this change, but I don't have to. No one is going to force me to do it. I really do have a choice. And when you say this to yourself and actually give yourself permission to keep things exactly the same as they already are, paradoxically, you will probably start to feel a lot more willing to make that change. No pressure, no bullying, just a real, actual choice with no judgment. By doing this activity and answering these 4 questions, you'll realize that your hesitation is totally normal because change is not easy. You'll see that you will have to give something up, but you'll also see that you're already giving something up by keeping things the way they are. And seeing it all laid out like this, clear on the page, you'll see exactly what you need to do in order to grow. And then when you're ready, willing, and able to make that change, you can make that change in your life. Even if you're ambivalent, even if you're hesitant, no pressure, no bullying. You'll make that change because it's worth it for you.